Hi students, very good morning. Let's just wait for a couple of minutes so that all of your friends would join us. Hope I'm audible. Let's just wait for a couple of minutes so that all of your friends would join us. Yes, guys. So we will continue with our discussion. So yesterday we have been looking at how the program is being executed and what are the basic data types that we have it. Now we will not just get into the theoretical discussions most of the time. I repeat everybody, we will not do the theoretical discussion again in today's session also. Now we'll get into the programming part where uh, where I would not be doing most of the programs. I would request you to be attentive, and there are certain things that I would instruct you or ask you to do it, and I would expect the response from you. Okay, so we'll just start off with today's session. All right. So this is the online compiler that we have it for Java, where most of you might be using it on mobile or might be using it on a laptop. So I thought we will get into this online compiler for Java so that we can start writing our programs here, as most of the time we are writing the basic programs only. So this could be sufficient for us to run the program. You need not have to install anything also. And now we are just starting with our simple program. Now I would request you to just be more attentive because it is online. So I wanted to take it in activity based rather than just I'm delivering it and you're just listening it. I don't want that to happen. So now we'll just start with some simple programs. Say all of us know about this even odd program, right? We'll start with that. So most of us know how to find the even number and the odd number. If at all we get we get the number in runtime, if we read the value in runtime, then after that we wanted to ensure that whatever the value that we are reading it, we wanted to ensure that we wanted to check that check whether that given number is an even number or not. That's the simple program that we are writing it. And before that, I just wanted you to explain the theoretical concept or how we get into how we derive something called algorithm. Why it is important for you to go ahead and understand about algorithm. Reason being is that if at all if at all you look at మీరు ఎప్పుడైనా మీరు చదువుతున్నప్పుడు అంటే ప్రోగ్రామింగ్ లాంగ్వేజ్ గురించి చదువుతున్నప్పుడు ప్రతి చోట మీకు చెప్తూ ఉండుంటారు ఏమిటి అంటే whenever you are writing a code, it is important that you have to know the algorithm first. If you know the algorithm, then you will derive to the program in your own way అని చెప్తూ ఉంటారు. దానికి రీజన్ ఏంటి అనడానికి we will just look at this simple example where everybody of us know ఒకవేళ ఒక నెంబర్ సే x ఈక్వల్ టు 10 అని ఒక నెంబర్ మనం ఒకవేళ రీడ్ చేసుకుంటే ఆ నెంబర్ని ఈవెన్ ఆర్ ఆడ్ నెంబర్ ఏం అది ఈవెన్ నెంబరా లేదంటే ఆడ్ నెంబరా అని చెక్ చేయడం కోసం we will have to we will have to just ensure that you write a logic if x is x mod 2 is equal to 0 ఒకవేళ ఇది గనక ఆ పర్టిక్యులర్ కండిషన్ గనక ట్రూ అయితే దెన్ దట్ బికమ్స్ అన్ ఈవెన్ నెంబర్ ఒకవేళ ఇది x ఈజ్ ఈక్వల్ టు 1 అయితే x mod 2 ఈక్వల్ టు 1 అయితే దెన్ దిస్ బికమ్స్ అన్ ఆడ్ నెంబర్ ఇదే కదా మనం మాట్లాడుకుంటూ ఉండేది దిస్ ఇస్ అ సింపుల్ లాజిక్ ఇప్పుడు నేను మీతో మాట్లాడుతున్నప్పుడు నవ్ యూ హ్యావ్ టు అండర్స్టాండ్ ద అల్గరిథమ్ ఫస్ట్ టు రైట్ దిస్ ప్రోగ్రామ్ అని చెప్తూ ఉన్నాను అనుకోండి సార్ ఇది చాలా సింపుల్ ప్రోగ్రామ్ కదా వై డూ యూ నీడ్ అన్ అల్గరిథమ్ ఫర్ దిస్ why do you want us to first learn algorithm and then do this program because we have been looking at from our childhood maybe చిన్నప్పుడు క్లాసెస్ నుంచి చూస్తున్నాం we know how to find we know what is an even number what is an odd number we could easily identify అండ్ దానికి ఎలా డిరైవ్ చేస్తున్నారు హౌ ఎ మెషిన్ షుడ్ డిరైవ్ టు ఏ కన్క్లూజన్ దట్ ద గివెన్ నెంబర్ ఈజ్ అన్ ఈవెన్ నెంబర్ ఆర్ అన్ ఆడ్ నెంబర్ దానికి ఇన్స్ట్రక్షన్స్ ఇస్తున్నారు ఫర్ దట్ ఆల్సో దెర్ ఈస్ అ సింగిల్ లైన్ లాజిక్ ఇఫ్ ఐ మాడ్యులో 2 ఈక్వల్ టు 0 ఈజ్ అన్ ఈవెన్ నెంబర్ ఐ మాడ్యులో 2 ఈజ్ ఈక్వల్ టు 1 ఈజ్ అన్ ఆడ్ నెంబర్ అని డిరైవ్ చేసేసుకున్నాం మనం అండ్ వీ నో దిస్ లాజిక్ ఈజ్ వెరీ సింపుల్ బట్ ఈ లాజిక్ రాయడాన్నే మనం అల్గరిథం అంటాం హౌ డు యూ డిరైవ్ టు దిస్ అంటే ఐ మాడ్యులో 2 ఈక్వల్ టు 1 అనేది ఐ మాడ్యులో 2 ఈక్వల్ టు 0 అనేది హౌ యు ఆర్ డిరైవింగ్ టు దిస్ పర్టిక్యులర్ లాజిక్ అంటే ఇది రాస్తే ఈవెన్ కానీ ఇది రాస్తే ఆడ్ కానీ వస్తుంది అని ఎలా కన్క్లూడ్ అయ్యాం బికాస్ వీ నో ద రిమైండర్ వాల్యూ ఎప్పుడైతే మనకు 1 కానీ 0 వస్తుందో దెన్ ఇట్ బికమ్స్ ఈవెన్ ఆర్ ఆడ్ అని మనం మాట్లాడుకుంటూ ఉంటున్నాం కానీ ఈ లాజిక్లో దెర్ ఆర్ లాట్ ఆఫ్ థింగ్స్ దట్ ఆర్ దేర్ ఇన్ ఇట్ సే ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఇప్పుడు ఇప్పుడు వీ విల్ ట్రై టు లెర్న్ అబౌట్ ఫ్యూ సింపుల్ థింగ్స్ విచ్ ఆర్ ఎంబెడ్ ఇన్ దిస్ ప్రోగ్రామ్ దాని గురించి ఒకసారి చూస్తూ ఉంటే సే ఇప్పుడు ఎక్స్ని ఈ ఎక్స్ విచ్ ఐఎమ్ టేకింగ్ ఇట్ యాజ్ 10 దీన్ని నేను 2తో డివైడ్ చేస్తున్నాను then in this case it is becoming whenever I divide it then you get it is divided for 5 times and you get x mod 2 which is the remainder value will be 0. In the same fashion, trying to whenever you are trying to get the series of values అంటే say 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and 10 ఇలా కొన్ని నెంబర్స్ తీసుకున్నాను. ఇప్పుడు ఈ నెంబర్స్ని ఒకసారి నేను డివిజన్ ఆపరేషన్ పర్ఫామ్ చేస్తూ ఉన్నప్పుడు ఇఫ్ అట్ ఆల్ ఐ చెక్ ఫర్ ద కేస్ 1, say let's do it only for 5 values, not more. సో ఇప్పుడు ఒకసారి ఇక్కడ చెక్ చేసుకుంటూ ఉంటే ఐ విల్ ఆల్సో పుట్ ఇట్ హియర్ సే x by 2 and then you will write it here x mod 2. Now in the case of 1 ante ippudu x when it is becoming 1, then once you divide it, then obviously you get your division value as 0 and the remainder value as 1 in this case. అదే 2ని 2తో డివైడ్ చేసినప్పుడు once you divide your 2 with 2, in that case your again the quotient value will be 0 and the remainder value will be 1. Similarly, when you look at the number 3, 3ని ఎప్పుడైతే డివైడ్ చేస్తున్నామో then you get the quotient value as 1 and the remainder value as 1. Similarly, you divide your number 4 with 2, then the quotient value would be 2 and the remainder value would be 0. Sorry, నేను ఇక్కడ తప్పు చెప్పాను. This will be 0. Similarly, when you divide 5 by 2 again, then you do it for 2 times. ఇక్కడ కూడా తప్పు చెప్పాను కదా, it has 2 ones, 2 and this will be 0. Ikkada again when you divide x with 5, then in this case you get a quotient as 2 and the remainder of this particular value will be 1. Now if you could look at ee particular case lo okkar manam chustunte, see this value of quotient is increasing. And if you could look at again, I just come back with the 6th value. చూడండి, the 6th value once I divide it again, see it will, the quotient is again once you divide it, that is 2 3s are, it becomes 6 and then the remainder will become 0. And again for the 7, then once you just come back and do it, it will be 3 and then again it will be 1 for the remainder. If you could look at, see whenever you divide by 2 there is a pattern. See 0 and then 1 is repeated for 2 times and then 2 is repeated for 2 times, 3 is repeated for 2 times. So what is the conclusion that we get it here? See, whenever you divide a number with 2, whenever in a value n, when it is divided by 2, then whatever the quotient that you are getting it, the quotient will repeat the number of times, that is 2 times. If this x is divided by n, then you get your quotient repeated for n times consecutively. And then similarly, ఒకవేళ మనం ఎప్పుడైతే రిమైండర్ ఆపరేషన్ ఎప్పుడైతే మనం రిమైండర్ని చెక్ చేసుకుంటూ ఉంటామో, ఇన్ దట్ కేస్ ఇఫ్ యూ డివైడ్ x is divided by n, then ఒకసారి మనం ఈ రిమైండర్ విషయంలో చూస్తుంటే చూడండి, రిమైండర్ ఈజ్ ఆల్టర్నేటివ్లీ obtained as 1010, విచ్ మీన్స్ ఎప్పుడైతే మనం ఇక్కడ 2తో డివైడ్ చేస్తున్నామో ద రిమైండర్ వాల్యూస్ ఆర్ 0, 1 and the maximum values that you are getting it are 2 values. అంటే మనం x అనే వాల్యూ అంటే ఎనీ x వాల్యూ మనం ఎప్పుడైతే 2తో డివైడ్ చేస్తున్నామో you get the reminders as either 0 or 1. And ఎన్ని వాల్యూస్ ఉంటున్నాయి ఇక్కడ, జీరో అండ్ వాల్యూ, సారీ జీరో అండ్ వన్, ఆల్ విల్ ఆర్ యువర్ టూ వాల్యూస్ దట్ యూ విల్ హ్యావ్ ఇట్. అంటే వెన్ ఎవర్ యూ డివైడ్ ఎ నంబర్ x by n, then you get the remainder values starting from 0 comma 1 comma 2 so on till n minus 1. And if you calculate all of them, the number of reminders that you will get will be n. Now based on now this becomes your algorithm. This becomes your algorithm to find out the even number or an odd number. Now this is the same algorithm that we use it in your traffic light signal across the world. Like we use these signals. Now in the signals, now instead of going ahead and dividing a number with 2, now we divide a number with 3. Now we'll use the same case here. Now x is divided by 3 and x modulo of 3. Now if you could look at, now in this case whenever you divide this 1 by 3, then it goes for 0 times and you get the remainder as 3. Now once you just come back, sorry, you get the remainder as 1. Now once I just come back here and put it as your 2, then x by 3 will return a quotient 0 and the remainder value will be 2. Similarly, once you divide your x by 3, then you get it for one time and then the remainder value will become 0. Now similarly, when you divide x by 3, that is your 4 by 3, then you get it for one time and then you get the quotient as 1. And then similarly, when you divide it by 5, divide 5 by 3, then you get the quotient as 1 and the remainder as 2. Similarly, when you divide 6 by 3, then it becomes 2 times and the remainder value will become 0. When you divide 7, then you will get it as 2 and the remainder value would be 1. If you could look at, now the ones are repeated for 3 times. That is, the quotient value is repeated for n times. Because you are not looking at 0, it is showing it for 2 times. Now assume you again put it for 8, then see 8 whenever you divide it by 3, then you will get the quotient as 2 and the remainder as 2. Now this is how it becomes a pattern for us. Now if you could look at now what we can say is the reminders are also your 0, 1 and 2. Now what we can say, whenever you get the remainder as 1, I'll call it as green. Now whenever you have your remainder as 2, then I'll call it as orange. Whenever we get 3, then we can put it as red. Now see, the algorithm remains the same. Now you use it for traffic light signal, you use it for checking whether it is an even number or odd number. It's according to the logic that we write it. But in both the cases, or the usage of both of them is different. But ideally మనం ఇంకా కొన్ని డైస్ గేమ్స్ చూస్తూ ఉంటాం. డైస్ గేమ్స్లో we go with 6. ఆ 6లో randomly you get one number and based on that you work on it. Say లేదంటే టాస్ బేస్డ్ గేమ్స్, ఫ్లిప్ బేస్డ్ గేమ్స్, వీటన్నిటిలో you can use even odd logic. Got it? Dice గేమ్స్లో based on the value that you wanted to show, and the dice value to part and say once you get the dice value as 1, then you do one modulo operation. Dice value, if at all you get it as 3, then you could do 3 modulo operation. So ilanti ante the logic the basic code remains the same, but the purpose of usage will differ. And how you change those number of lines of code, దాన్ని ఒకటి ముందు ఒకటి వెనకాల పెట్టుకొని ఆ లాజిక్స్ ఎలా వాడుకుంటాం. Now in even odd program, this denominator when you are dividing, or when you your n value remains to be 2. Even odd case లో n value remains to be 2. అదే dice game లో n values will always change between 1 to 6. Whenever you are using traffic light signal, then your n value remains for 3. But all these three programs are different. One of them is a game, one of them is a traffic signal example, and the other one is a simple even odd logic. See, the algorithm has a strength. Now algorithm ni ఎలా మనం యూటిలైజ్ చేసుకుంటాము, how do you consume that algorithm according to your requirement is important. అందుకనే ప్రతి చోట అల్గరిథం ఇంపార్టెంట్, అల్గరిథం నేర్చుకోండి, యూ కెన్ రైట్ యువర్ ప్రోగ్రామ్ అని చెప్తారు. హోప్ ఐఎమ్ క్లియర్ నవ్. సో ఇక్కడ అంటే యాజ్ ఐ హ్యావ్ బీన్ ఆల్సో ఇన్ఫార్మ్డ్ that you are done with your Java programming in this semester, so I will not unnecessarily waste your time in order to just reiterate everything. Kabatti we will start with our programming. So our programming start cheyadaniki, let's just look at the course content, what is to be delivered. So what is a content that we would need. Just give me a second. See, this is a course content that we will be having for this course, and we are supposed to complete all of this. Now, yesterday we have been looking at how the program executes, and all of you know how to read the values, how to work with the control flow statements, what are your expressions, what are your literal values, what are your operators. All these theoretical things were done for you, and you know how to work with arrays, how to work with lists, and all of it. So I'm not going to deliver that theory again, and it will be also boring for you. So we will get into the work now. We will start working now. So as I've told you, as I've started my discussion by showing you with this online Java compiler. So we will now start writing the code. I will just ask you to write some simple programs. Then I would request you to write that simple piece of code, execute, and then share it with me in the YouTube live chat. So I repeat again, I would request you to, or I will ask you to write a small piece of code. If it is a mobile or if it is a laptop, it doesn't matter. Please open up this compiler online. The once you just go ahead and put it as online gdb.com/online underscore Java underscore compiler, then you can get into this compiler. Otherwise you can go to your Google and type it as online Java compiler, then you can get this, where you can start writing your program, right? So now the question is, write a program using Java, write a program using Java to multiply a number 4 times, to multiply a number 4 times without using multiplication operator. I repeat again, write a program using Java to multiply a number for 4 times without using multiplication operator. I'm just waiting for the first person to put the code. I'm waiting for the first person to write the code and share it with me. I'm repeating the question and I'm also typing it in the chat window. Write a program using Java to multiply a number 4 times without using multiplication operator. I am waiting for the first person to put the code into the chat window. Please make it fast. All right. So you do it parallelly and also listen to me, and you can share your code still even after this also, no problem. Let me just do the program for you over here. See, the first and foremost thing is I need a number. Before I explain, I would request you to share your attendance. There will be a link shared now by Vishnu sir in the chat window, and I would request everybody to give your attendance there. I repeat again. Meanwhile, complete that program. Meanwhile, complete that program and put it in the chat window. Yes, the first complete code that is received by Gayatri here. So she is using scanner to read the value, and she have read I value there, p of x for, yes, c equal to c plus x, right? Yes, that's fine. And there is another girl, Gayatri. Okay, right. Okay, that's fine. Anybody else? So in a couple of minutes, sir will put the attendance link, and once the attendance link is placed, the attendance will be calculated for only those people who are giving it in 15 minutes after the upload. Beyond that, your attendance would not be calculated. Right? So now we will just look at that program. So the first and foremost thing is we need to read that value. That is, you need to read a number from the keyboard. So in order to read the number from the keyboard, I want to utilize something called scanner. For that reason, I will put it as import java dot util dot scanner, and after that I would now try to read my value, say some x value or some value that you would like to, then say I'll call it as x equals to, I want to read this value. So once I wanted to read this value, I'll put it as my scanner value. So let me just create an object for my scanner, that is scanner sn equal to new scanner, and then I want to read it from the system input, so I'll put it as system.in, and then after that I wanted to read it, for which I'll put it as int x equal to, I want to put it as sn dot next int. I'm reading the integer value, so I'm putting it as next int. Got it? So this is how I'm reading my integer values. Now once I read my integer value, the question is that I need to multiply the value for 4 times. Now what is that we do normally? We will put it as x equal to x into 4. This is what we can do it normally when you want to multiply that number for 4 times. But instead that we don't want to use that multiplication operator, for which we can put it as for of I equal to 0, I less than 4, and then I plus plus, and then we just get into this for loop, and here we will now put it as x equal to x plus 1. Is this the right option that we will put it? Are we incrementing one value or are we multiplying it? Which means you are incrementing that x value for every iteration, that is x equal to x plus x. This is what we are doing it. Hope I am clear. Now ఈ క్వశ్చన్ ఇవ్వడానికి కారణం ఏంటంటే ఇక్కడ మీకు ఇచ్చిన క్వశ్చన్ నేను చాలా క్లియర్గా మీకు మెన్షన్ చేస్తూ ఉన్నాను. I'm I'm giving this question very clearly, stating that you should multiply a number for 4 times without using the star operator or the multiplication operator అని చెప్తూ ఉన్నాను. But in real time scenarios, chala chotla you will be asked with questions in a fashion where they'll ask, write a program to multiply a number for 4 times. Then you will use a basic multiplication operator. But we are looking at people who can derive to this particular conclusion in their own way, in their own creativity. Might be the time complexity and the space complexity might increase. So ఈ కేసులో సింపుల్గా చేసేదాన్ని మనం కాంప్లికేట్ చేస్తున్నాం, వేర్ ద టైం కాంప్లెక్సిటీ ఇంక్రీజెస్, బికాస్ ఫర్ లూప్ రన్ చేసి అందులో ప్రతిసారి ఒక వాల్యూని ఇంక్రిమెంట్ చేసుకుంటూ వెళ్తున్నాం, విచ్ ఇస్ ఆబ్వియస్లీ వేస్ట్ ఆఫ్ టైం. So the complexity is increasing, the space complexity is increasing there. సో ఇక్కడ మనం మనం మన మనం వర్క్ చేసినప్పుడు ఇఫ్ యూ పుట్ ఇట్ ఇన్ ఏ క్రియేటివ్ వే, మేబీ ఇంకొక మెథడ్లో ఇప్పుడు చెప్తున్నట్టుగా ఒక ఎడిషన్ మెథడ్లో మీరు మల్టిప్లై చేసి, అంటే ఎడిషన్ మెథడ్లో 4 times రిపీట్ చేసి, దెన్ వీ కెన్ కాల్ ఇట్ యాజ్ మల్టిప్లైయింగ్ 4 time number for 4 times, but the complexity of this program is higher and the complexity of the program that we do it with multiplication operator is lower అని ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేయగలిగితే, then yes, you have the strength, you have the complete understanding of that knowledge అని అర్థం అవుతుంది. So please ensure that whenever you are writing your code, you should be very clear on what is the algorithm that you are following and what is the practice that you are following to complete that code. అంతేకాని this is the standard pattern, multiplication ki this is the standard pattern, or some other program ki finding an even number or finding a prime number, దీనికి ఇదే స్టాండర్డ్ ప్యాటర్న్ అని అనుకోవడం కానీ ఉండనక్కర్లేదు. you can find the solution to a problem in your own way. You can write your own logic. Maybe the logic might be bigger or might be smaller, and the logic which has very low time complexity and space complexity is called optimal code. అందుకనే మీరు కోడ్ రాసిన తర్వాత మీరు రేపు పొద్దున రియల్ టైంలో జాబ్లోకి వెళ్ళిన తర్వాత కూడా మేబీ మీరు రాసిన కోడ్ని మళ్ళీ మీ సీనియర్స్ ఆర్ ఎవరైతే ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ పీపుల్ ఉంటారో వాళ్ళు దాన్ని కోడ్ ఆప్టిమైజేషన్ చేస్తారు. It is that once you write your code, you should ensure that your code is optimized. అంటే ఇది బెస్ట్ కోడ్. టైం కాంప్లెక్సిటీ, స్పేస్ కాంప్లెక్సిటీ చాలా తక్కువ ఉన్నాయి. ఇట్ ఈస్ రన్నింగ్ ఎట్ ఏ బెస్ట్ రేట్. దీనికి అనేలాగా మన కోడ్ని మళ్ళీ కన్వర్ట్ చేస్తూ ఉంటాం అనమాట. యూ ట్రై టు గెట్ ఇట్ టు ద బెస్ట్ పాసిబుల్ లెవెల్. గట్ ఇట్? Now, just take 2 minutes of break to give your attendance. I would request everybody to now give your attendance. Now, the attendance would be valid for only those people who are giving it in 15 minutes from the upload. ఇప్పుడు ఏదైతే అప్లోడ్ చేసామో ఇక్కడ ఆ అప్లోడ్ లింక్ పంపించాము. విష్ణు సార్ హ్యావ్ అప్లోడెడ్ దిస్ లింక్. అది మొత్తం కంప్లీట్ చేయండి. ప్లీజ్ కంప్లీట్ దాట్. Hope all of you have given your attendance. All right. So we'll continue with our discussion now. Okay, before we continue, can you just put it in the chat window as completed people who have completed the feedback and also your attendance? People who have completed their questionnaire, can you put it in the chat window as done? Can you put it in the chat window as done? People who have completed filling up the form, please put it as done so that we can continue further. Make it fast, please, make it fast. Hope all of you have filled in the form. Please put it as done or completed in the chat window once you are done. Please put it in the chat window as completed or done once you complete that form. All right, so we will now continue. So we will write another program. We will now write another program. Write a program using Java to accept a number from keyboard and print it and print it and print it in and print it in reverse order. I repeat, everybody, write a program to accept a number from keyboard and print it in reverse order. Write a program to accept a number from keyboard and print it in reverse order. Write a program to accept a number from keyboard and print it in reverse order. I am putting it in the chat window. Write a program to accept a number and print it in reverse order. That means you need to print that number in a reverse fashion. Once you complete this code, please share it here. Once you complete this code, please share it here in the chat window. Once you complete this code for reversing a number, please share it in the chat window. Once you people finish it off, please share it in the chat window here. Make it fast. All right, let me just continue with this program. Let me just show you the program over here, how we can do it. Now I will again pick this up. I will again try to read the value with the help of the scanner. First, I'll just read it from the, I'll try to put it as my n as a number, and then I wanted to read it with the help of my scanner. Scanner sn equal to new scanner, and I want to get it as a system input. I want to read it from the keyboard, and after that I wanted to give the instruction, say system dot out dot println, and say enter the number so that it can start reading it. And after that I want to put it into my n, that is n equals to, I want to put it as my sn dot next int, so that I can start reading my values from the keyboard. Now what is that I wanted to do is I want to now go ahead and rotate my loop till my n value is greater than 0. Till my n value is greater than 0, I wanted to rotate on this particular loop. Now what is that I wanted to do is I wanted to take up an additional value. Say I will put it as int n comma, we will take up another value x. Now in this case I'll put it as x equals to n modulus of 10, where I divide this number by 10, then the remainder is being captured. Then I'll take up another another variable a, and then I will put it as a equals to a into 10 plus your x value that we have captured earlier, the remainder value that we have captured earlier, because we need to get it in the reverse order. And then you will put it as n equal to n by 10. With this we are done with the code for reversing a number. And then whatever the number that you will get it, whatever the value of a that you will have it, that will be your reverse number, for which you can just go ahead and put it as system dot out dot println, and then you can print the value a, which will be your reversed value. Now once I just execute and see this, then see it is asking me, oh, semicolon. Once I execute this, there is util dot scanner. What happened with this again? Yes, I'm sorry. What happened with this? I missed on anything over here. Oh, this a value is not initialized, so I'll just go ahead and put it as a. Once I run this, then see it is asking me for the number. Say I'll put it as 1 2 3 4 5 6 and 7. And then once I run this, see, you will get the reverse of that number. Now the same program, you can do it also by accepting the values as string, and then accepting the values as number, and then convert that number into an integer. Sorry, in number, and then convert it into a string, and then with the help of string reverse methods, you reverse the string, and then you can again convert the values into integer. Then you need not have to understand, you need not have to create this logic. I repeat again, the same thing can be done in two means. First, you work with numerical operations, which we have done it in the current program, and the same thing can be done with the help of int to convert into int is converted into string, and then the string methods are used. Those are nothing but your string reverse method, and then after that you will again convert your reversed string into an integer. Now your reversing program can be done in these two means. And again you can do this recursion with the help of sorry, you can use this mathematical or the numerical operations, putting it as a recursion function. So you can do it in n number of ways, how you wanted to do it, how you wanted to implement this. And here I have used multiple variables. I've used x, I've used n. Instead of that, I can use only a single variable so that I can optimize my code. So there are n number of ways that you write the logic so that you derive at a solution to the problem. Got it? So this is how you write the program to check get the reverse of a number. Now we will write another program. Write a program to find product of two numbers using a recursion. Write a program to find product of two numbers using recursion. Write a program to accept two numbers and find the product of two numbers using recursion. Using recursion. So guys, we will also write this program. Let me just go ahead and do it. Let me just put it in the main method. All right. So first and foremost thing is we need to take two values and read them. So I will put it in an integer array. I'll just declare it, which is an empty one with two values. Now after that I want to read the value, so I'll put it as scanner sn equal to new scanner, and then I want to read the input from the system, so I'm putting it as system.in. Now this is how I am reading the this is what this scanner is what I am using it to read the values, and after that I need to give the instruction to the user, so I'll put it as system.out.println, and here we would ask the user to enter the first number, and then we would put it as the first value, that is nothing but a of 0 equal to, we will try to put it as sn dot next int. We are reading this first value. Similarly, to read the second value, again we'll put it as system dot out dot println, and then we want to give the instruction to the user, enter the second number, and then after that we will read it from the keyboard. For the second value we'll put it as sn dot next int of the value, so that we read it. Now after that we need to now use the recursion function. We need to write the recursion function so that that can be utilized. Now I will come out of this main method. I will come out of this main method and start a function or a method with a return type as int, so that it will return my value, that is multiplication value, the product of two numbers, in the integer format. So I am putting it as int, and I am calling this recursion function as multiply, and this will accept two parameters because you need to multiply them. So then I'll put it as int of, I wanted to give the value as my array, so I'll put it as such, and I pass my parameter over here as the integer variable int I, so that my recursive function is returning a value based on this array that I've created, and then I'm calculating if I value is less than 2, only then you should multiply, otherwise you should not do, because the number of values that I'm using it over here are 2, and then I wanted to return the value which is nothing but my x of I, the value that I am passing it into, I wanted to use that recursive function again, that I wanted to call this function again because it is reading it for the next values, that is 0 1 2 3 so on. For the recursive values I wanted to go ahead and call it again. I wanted to call the same function again, for which I'll put it as multiply. Whatever this function is there, I'm calling itself again. Recursive function is nothing but calling it again and again by its own self. So I am calling this function again and again till this condition is false. This I is less than 2 is false. Till then I will rotate. Now what I'll do, I'll take up my x that is being utilized in this case, comma, I will now put it as plus plus I, which means my I value is being incremented. This value that I am using it is incremented. And then after that, I will now put the statement whenever this I value is not true. In that case, I will just return it as I will just return it as 1. Got it? This is how I use my recursive function. Now I've created a recursive function called int multiply, but this int multiply is not consumed, not utilized in my main program. To consume it, I will now just go ahead and create an object for the class that I'm using it. My class name that I have it over here is main m1 equal to new main, and after that I will now go ahead and put it as an individual variable int prod, which is nothing but my product that I am calculating is equal to that recursive function that I have it in my program. What is that recursive function that I have it in my program? That is nothing but your multiply, which accepts a parameter which is an array. My array that I am creating it is a, and followed by, for that recursive function you need a parameter which I am giving it as default 0, and it will be incremented for 2 times, that is 0, 1 and 2, and based on that the iteration will happen. And once I give it as a 0, then it iterates that function for number of times till this I value is less than 2. That is, for the I value is equal to 0, then it calls itself. I value is equal to 1, then it calls itself. When the I value becomes 2, then it will fail and return the value or value as 1. So that's how you will be returned with a value in this case. And then I'm interested in printing my product value, which I can put it as system.out.println, and then I would print it as prod. Got it? Now let's just go ahead and print and see, execute and see whether this works normally or not. So there is an error. Yeah, semicolon was missing. So now we run this again. Again, there is an expected semicolon. These days, I'm more habituated with Python, so I'm not used to this. Then you have an error here. Multiply. See, I'm not using this object, that is m1 dot multiply. All right, so now I wanted to enter the value 10 and I wanted to enter the value 20. Now I am returned with the multiplication value of that 10 and 20 with the help of your recursion. So this is how you utilize something called recursion. And in today's class, we have been looking at how to write code in multiple ways, and then we have been looking at something called recursion. Now, every program that you are using it in most of the time can also be used with the help of recursion. Say wherever you are using your control flow statements like your for loops and so on, those can be kept as recursion function too. అంటే ఎక్కడైతే మీరు ఫర్ లూప్స్ వైల్ లూప్స్ వాడుతున్నారో అలాంటి ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ అన్నిటినీ కూడా మనం రికర్షన్ ఫంక్షన్ వాడి మనం ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ కింద రాయొచ్చు. You do it as a recursive function or you do it as a for loop or a while loop, you can do the programs. సో అంటే మీ వేలో మీరు ఎలా కావాలనుకుంటున్నారు అనే దాన్ని బట్టి you write your programs with a recursion, without recursion, and you write it with the for loop, with the while loop. సో ఇలాంటి డీటెయిల్స్ అన్ని రేపటి క్లాస్లో కూడా కొన్ని చూద్దాం, వేర్ టు యూస్ వాట్. ఓకే, బట్ దీనికంటే ముందు now it is your important task from today is that everybody will have to create a blog. CBLOG. Now you want to create your own blog. to create your blog, మనం గూగుల్లో ఇలా బ్లాగ్ అని క్రియేట్ చేస్తే then there is something called blogger.com. Now everybody will have to open up this blogger.com, create your own blog. Ikkada you can just go ahead and click on create so that you register it normally with your email address, and then you can create your own blog. ఈ బ్లాగ్లో మీరు చేయాల్సిన పని ఏంటంటే whatever you have been learning every day, whatever you have been learning every day, whatever the programs that you are learning it every day in Java, say blog lo you write it. You write your own code, you write your own explanation, and then you author it ప్రాపర్గా. మీరే ఒక డే వన్ క్లాస్ ఎలా ఉన్నాయి, ఏం విన్నారో దాన్ని బట్టి మీకేం అర్థమైందో రాయండి. నేనేం చెప్పాను అని కాదు, మీకేం అర్థమైంది, మీరేమనుకుంటున్నారు అని డే వన్ బ్లాగ్, డే టూ బ్లాగ్, డే త్రీ బ్లాగ్, అలా ప్రతి రోజుకి సంబంధించిన బ్లాగ్ రాయండి. బట్ నిన్నటి వరకు అంటే ఇట్స్ ఆల్ ఓవర్. సో ఈరోజు మీరు ఏం క్లాస్ విన్నారో ఆ క్లాస్ని ఒక బ్లాగ్ లాగా రాయండి. బ్లాగ్ ఈజ్ నథింగ్ బట్ it is some description, it is some exposure to the real world that this is what you are doing something. సో రియల్ టైంలో ఏదైతే మీరు నేర్చుకుంటున్నారో ఆ నేర్చుకునే దాన్ని మీరు మిమ్మల్ని మీరు ఎక్స్పోజ్ చేస్తున్నారు. సో ఫస్ట్ అండ్ ఫార్మోస్ట్ థింగ్, ఈరోజు క్లాస్లో మనం ఏం మాట్లాడుకున్నామో దానికి సంబంధించి ఒక బ్లాగ్ రాయండి. బ్లాగ్ అనేది సే నాట్ ఓన్లీ దట్ ప్రోగ్రామ్స్, ఏవైనా కూడా రాయొచ్చు. సే ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ మీరు హైదరాబాద్ టు విజయవాడ ట్రావెల్ చేశారు, ఆ ట్రిప్ చాలా బాగుంది, మెమరబుల్గా అనిపించింది. దెన్ యూ కెన్ డిస్క్రైబ్ యువర్ ట్రిప్ with the images you wanted to describe, when you have started, how you have been traveling, how you have reached, on the way what all you have been doing, adantha explain chesi you can share it like a story with the world, right? సో అలా షేర్ చేసుకుంటున్నా, ఎలాగైతే షేర్ చేసుకుంటామో అలాగే how you have been traveling, how you have been learning your Java అనేది you can put it in the blog, you can put it as a separate blog, అలా ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేయాలి. Now it is important for everybody to create your own blog and write up, సార్ నా ఇంగ్లీష్ కన్స్ట్రెయింట్స్ ఉన్నాయి, నాకు ఇది అర్థం అవ్వట్లేదు, ఇలాంటి ఏమన్నా ఉంటే ప్లీజ్ రీచ్ అవుట్ టు ఆర్ ఈమెయిల్ అడ్రస్ reaches@devspark.in. అండ్ ఇది చాలా సింపుల్ థింగ్, యూ నీడ్, ఇట్స్ నాట్ రాకెట్ సైన్స్, it's very simple. Create an account, start putting your images, start putting your code, start writing about whatever you have been doing. So Allah, you can write your codes, write your blog, right? So I want everybody to create your account today and start writing about your own today's programs. ఈ రోజు మనం 3 ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ చేసాం. ఆ 3 ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ గురించి what you have understood, what you have felt, what is the importance of algorithm, what is the importance of those programs that we have done, ఇలాంటి విషయాలు మీకు ఏమనిపించాయి, మీకు ఏం అర్థమయ్యాయి, అలాంటిదన్నీ బ్లాగ్లో ప్లేస్ చేసి tomorrow once we start off, the first thing that I will ask you is share your blog URLs. మళ్ళీ చెప్తున్నాను, రేపు పొద్దున క్లాస్ స్టార్ట్ అయిన తర్వాత చాట్ విండోలో షేర్ ఆల్ ఆఫ్ యువర్ బ్లాగ్ యూఆర్ఎల్స్ అని అడుగుతాను. then you will have to share your blog URLs. Your work is being measured. మీరు చాట్ విండోలో ఎప్పుడైతే ఇవి షేర్ చేస్తున్నారో మీ బ్లాగ్స్, we will understand how much you are learning, what is that you are doing. So please ensure everybody is maintaining this blog. So today start your blog and write about, it's not like ఒక పెద్ద 100 pages paragraph లేదంటే 100 pages explanation రాయమన్నట్లేదు. Put it in small paragraphs, whatever you have been learning. So it's a good practice to do, right? So tomorrow everybody is supposed to share this blog with us so that we can continue our discussion tomorrow. And ఒకసారి ఇంకో విషయం చూడండి, whatever I have been sharing it here, all of them are basics. These fundamentals are done. Now this expression data types వాటి గురించి ఇంకా డీటెయిల్గా చూద్దాము. And after that, implementing your control flow, that is nothing but working with your logical conditional statements, and also working with your looping statements. Then tarvata you will be looking at object oriented programming. ఇవన్నీ కూడా సింపుల్ కాన్సెప్ట్స్, మీరు రెగ్యులర్గా మీరు చూసినవే, కాకపోతే ఏంటంటే హియర్ we will try to revise all of them again so that you appear for this international certification. సో ఇవాళ క్లాస్లో కొన్ని విషయాలు చూసాం, రేపు ఇంకా కొన్ని విషయాలు చూద్దాం, అండ్ దెన్ ఎల్లుండి వీలైతే we will just wind it up. రైట్, బికాస్ ఎందుకంటే మీకు ఇవన్నీ ఆల్రెడీ అయి ఉన్నాయి కాబట్టి సిలబస్లో వీ విల్ నాట్ అన్నెసెసరీలీ రీఇటరేట్ ఆన్ థియరటికల్ థింగ్స్. వీ విల్ డూ ఫ్యూ మోర్ ప్రోగ్రామ్స్. వీలైనంత మంది రేపు ల్యాప్టాప్లో కనెక్ట్ అవ్వడానికి చూడండి సో దట్ యూ కెన్ డూ ద ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ ప్యారలీ అండ్ షేర్ ఇట్ ఇన్ ద చాట్ విండో. People who have laptops, as many people you have your laptops, వీలైనంత వరకు ల్యాప్టాప్స్ లో కనెక్ట్ అవ్వండి సో దట్ యూ కెన్ డూ ద ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ అండ్ షేర్ ఇట్ విత్ మీ ఇన్ ద చాట్ విండో క్విక్లీ, రైట్? బికాస్ ఎందుకంటే వీ వాంటెడ్ టు హ్యావ్ దిస్ హ్యాండ్స్ ఆన్ ప్రాక్టీస్, హ్యాండ్స్ ఆన్ ప్రోగ్రామింగ్ ప్రాక్టీస్ రాదర్ దెన్ థియరిటికల్ థింగ్, రైట్? థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్ గైస్, థ్యాంక్స్ ఫర్ లిస్నింగ్ టు మీ. రేపటికల్లా బ్లాగ్స్ ప్రిపేర్ చేసుకోండి, and tomorrow please share the blog links once you start off in the morning tomorrow, right? Thank you so much. If any trouble, please reach us at the rate devspark.in. Thank you so much.